What up, what up, what up? It's your homeboy B Watt, and you are now tuned into another episode of Cancel B Watt. And in this episode, I feel like talking about sports. Just a few episodes ago, I proclaimed to everybody that Steph Curry was the GOAT, right? Above LeBron specifically. And now Steph Curry is set to make his intimate return to the basketball court. And the Warriors look like they're in prime shape to win a championship. So I am predicting here and now that the Warriors will win the championship this year, and Steph Curry will have an all-time great performance, and everyone will have to take a step back and reanalyze the GOAT conversation because Steph Curry will officially have more rings than LeBron James, right? And it's all coming into place perfectly. Perfect timing leading into the playoffs, right? Klay Thompson is looking like the all-time great Klay Thompson once again, right? He's not a lockdown defender anymore. He's not guarding the best man, but he is shooting out the gym and he is moving extremely well. He is dunking on people. So Klay is getting back into all-time great form. Steph Curry is set to make his return. The role players are coming together and working together beautifully. Jordan Poole does need to get it together a little bit, but he showed up last year in the finals, so I expect him to be big time under the bright lights. Kevin Durant recently went to Phoenix, and I find that very interesting because all that means is he's going to get knocked out in the first round by Steph Curry and the Warriors, and that's going to be pretty embarrassing for Kevin Durant to get knocked out in the first round for the second year in a row. But I will say this, if the Warriors happen to not win the championship, nothing's guaranteed, then I do expect Phoenix to show up and show out, because honestly, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, CP3, that's kind of crazy, right? But they can't beat the Warriors. We're talking about Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, a slew of role players, and Draymond Green, championship experience, and the only one of those guys in Phoenix who ever won was Kevin Durant, and he's the only one with the Warriors. The Warriors won before him, with him, and Steph Curry has gotten a championship without KD. And let's look back at history, right? Once upon a time, Kevin Durant was with OKC. They were up 3-1 on the Warriors. They blew that lead, and in the Game 7, with everything on the line, Steph Curry ripped up Kevin Durant to seal the win. So let's not act like the Warriors haven't already defeated Kevin Durant on multiple occasions, okay? So now, unfortunately, I gotta speak on Ja Morant and this whole situation with the guns, and I do have a few thoughts. First of all, everybody keeps calling Ja Morant a superstar, and while I can admit, dude could jump out the gym, he ain't never won nothing. The Memphis Grizzlies haven't won anything. Didn't they just get swept, or damn near swept, by the Warriors last season? All that popping off that Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies have done, you would think that they have won a playoff game. No, by the end of that series, Ja Morant was on the ground holding his ankles, watching Steph Curry ascend into higher levels of greatness. This is the same kid, Ja Morant, who said he was better than Michael Jordan. Delusional, almost disrespectful. See, now that we know more about his character, we need to go back and reanalyze some of his statements, some of his actions, right? This is the same guy who said the Memphis Grizzlies wasn't going to have no problem in the West. Y'all ain't won a game in the West since you made that statement, bro. You're in a conference with LeBron James. You're in a conference with Steph Curry. You're in a conference with KD. Whatever your ascension was supposed to be, it has suddenly been put on hold. On halt. I would be extremely impressed if the Memphis Grizzlies, led by Ja Morant, made it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't see that happening. So the other morning, the world wakes up and there's all these reports about Ja Morant playing with guns, pulling guns on other people at his house, him and his friends flashing guns with lasers on them at other teams' buses, NBA teams' buses. And I'm going to make a prediction right here and right now. Ja Morant is going to crash out. And I'm going to tell you why. It's going to be T. Morant's fault. It's going to be his mama's fault. First and foremost, a few weeks ago when Shannon Sharpe got in that altercation with the Memphis Grizzlies, I watched T. Morant and how he handled that situation. T. Morant did nothing to defuse that situation. He escalated the situation. He wound up having his own verbal altercation with Shannon Sharpe. So we got a young NBA player's father on the sideline who has drunk the Kool-Aid. He's enjoying the life more than Ja Morant. He's probably at every celebrity party. He's doing interviews. He's on the sideline getting into altercations. T. Morant is a superstar, or at least he thinks he's a superstar. He's acting more like his son's friend or one of his son's homeboys than his daddy. Let me say this. T. Morant ain't LeVar Ball, y'all, and that's counter to what I originally thought. I remember a while back I seen like this special with Ja Morant's little sister. I think she's trying to get into NBA. I think she's playing college ball, and she's pretty good. And I saw the way that the family was being run. I saw the way that Ja Morant and his little sister was training for greatness. And I thought, man, it's a good black American family. Wrong. I was wrong. This is how I knew I was wrong. If you look back at that article with Ja Morant's mother is in Finish Line. She's at the mall at Finish Line. She gets into a situation, and what she decides to do is call Ja Morant to come out to help her. So he comes out there with 9 of his friends, causing a ruckus, causing a scene, threatening security officers, talking about what time you get off of work. Ja Morant, you gonna meet him after work and catch a friendly fade with him? You gonna catch a one-on-one with him? Ja Morant, you gonna shoot somebody? You willing to live with that on your heart? Are you about that? Ja Morant is set to make something crazy, like $260 million next year. And on a morning when all of America are tuned in watching national news reports of you having altercations with guns, you think it's a smart idea to get on your Instagram and point a gun in the faces of all of America, really the world, right? Because the NBA is a national brand. I'm really interested in what Adam Silivers decides to do about Ja Morant, because it seems like they already tried to save him, right? Ja Morant got some kids in his backyard, dunking all on them, embarrassing them, probably bullying them. They get into exchange of words. See, these kids, they can't fight, or they're unwilling to fight, right? So as soon as they get in an altercation, they talking about guns. And now the reports say Ja Morant is in his backyard with a gun clutched in his waistband, threatening the kid. That's lame on so many levels. You're an NBA superstar. Why is you playing basketball with these kids in the first place? Ja Morant telling you, pointing the gun at Instagram. He telling everybody, I'm ready to crash out. I'm ready to waste $260 million so I could catch a body and throw gang signs at everybody on TikTok and seem cool amongst my peers. These kids are in a bad situation. You know what I mean? It's not enough to just be successful nowadays. It's not enough to be famous. It's not enough to be great. You gotta have this gangster persona attached to you now. And that's what's driving the kids to participate in gun violence. And Ja Morant is somebody who's well within the public eye. It is my recommendation to the NBA. Make an example out of his ass. Make an example out of his ass. We don't need this type of activity spread through society or the community. We don't need successful kids who then made it out the hood, who are making millions of dollars playing with guns, trying to play gangster. Please, Adam Silivers, make an example out of Ja Morant's ass. Please, Adam Silivers. I'm telling you, T. Morant is nothing like LeVar Ball. He is not cut of the King Richard cloth. Please, Adam Silivers, ban his ass from the sidelines. They didn't already have to treat the young man like a little bitty kid and take all his social media. No TikTok, no Instagram. That's the same punishment I just had to give to my daughter, 11 years old, who's watching Ja Morant. Please make an example out of Ja Morant. He's already cashed out financially. He's a very talented NBA player. He'll recover from it. Give him a chance to recover from something, because he needs to learn his lesson. I don't want to wake up and log onto the internet and find out Ja Morant then got caught up with the same people who smoked Young Dolph out there in Memphis, and now we done lost Ja Morant. I don't want to see that. I don't want that for our community. So I'm really hoping that Adam Silivers gets ahead of this one. Let's not forget that SEC player who just shot up the little girl and her boyfriend in the car, killed the young lady because she didn't want to talk to him. That just happened about a month ago, right? We don't need firearms in basketball and professional sports influencing the youth to participate in gang and gun violence. We don't need that. And like I said, it's obvious that Ja Morant ain't got nobody sensible in his corner. He got his mama calling him to the smoke. He got his daddy getting involved in the smoke. And they got Ja Morant out here looking like a kid who ain't got no daddy. He out here pretending and playing the role of a kid who grew up in a single parent home in the inner city, who was born into gang violence. So even though the young man is worth $200 million, He's still a little ass kid, and it's time for him to get punished so he can get back on his path to greatness, and we can really experience what we want to see from Ja Morant. Nobody wants to see Ja Morant playing with guns, shooting, or being shot at. We want to see you dunking on people and preferably losing to Steph Curry. Because like I said, you're in the West anyways, and you're not going to beat KD. You're not going to beat Kyrie Irving, Luka and them boys. And even in the play-in situation, you can't beat LeBron James and the Lakers. So that's what Ja Morant really need to be focused on, okay? So that's all I have to say about that. Listen, like, subscribe, and tune in again to another episode of Cancel BY.